Good morning, everyone. Thank you for tuning in today to our February Shotsuki Memorial Service for the Salinas Buddhist Temple. Today, we're also observing the Nirvana Day service, the day that Siddhartha Gautama passed away. And so with today's service, we will be combining those two events. I'd like to begin with an opening reading. If you'll please join me in Gasho. It is now more than 2,000 years since the passing of Shakyamuni Tathagata. The right and semblance ages have already closed. So lament, disciples of latter times. Namo Amida Butsu, 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 Namo Amida Butsu. Excuse me. Okay, so we'll begin our service with the chanting of the Sambujo, followed by the Hyobyakumon, or the dedication reading, and then the Sambutsuge and the Jusege. And during that time, you'll see the names of families observing Shotsuki in the month of February for the Salinas Buddhist Temple scrolling on your screen. So let me share this screen. Namandos, namandos. Today, on this occasion of the Salinas Buddhist Temple February Shotsuki Hoyo Memorial and Nirvana Day service, the Sangha has reverently come before Amida Buddha in memory of their beloved family members and in memory of Shakyamuni Buddha. With deepest reverence and thankfulness for the all-embracing wisdom and compassion of Amida, we reaffirm the three homages. I go to the Buddha for guidance. I go to the Dharma for guidance. I go to the Sangha for guidance. Namo Kia Boots, Namo Kia Ho, Namo Kia So, Namo Namo. Satsu Marian Yang Yang Hogen Gi Ijin Ngaknya Se Enya Maya Toshan Ichigatsumani Shuko Enyo Kai Shitsu Onpe Yunyak Jemok Nyo Rai Yogen Jose Murin Shongak Lion Hor Jie Po Kai Mon Shojin San Mai Chi Ito Kumuryo Shusho Ke Ujin Dai Zen Shobutsu Hokai Gujin Jin no Ngong Ngai Tai Ngum Yo Yokunu Se Son Yo Mu Nin No Shi Shi Jin Doku Muryo Kukung Ko Nai Chi E Jin Yo Om Yo Iso Shindo Nai Sen Ganga Sabutsu Zaisho Ho Ho Gano Shoji Mipuge Natsu Puse Joi Kainen Shojin Yozen Sanmai Chie Ijo Ngose Tokubutsu Bugyo Shigan Isai Kuku Isanayan Geshi Ubutsu Yakusen Nokuman Muryo Naisho Shunyong Oja Kuyo Isai Shito Shobutsu Bunyo no Kensho Bugyaku Inyo Oja Shobu Sekai Bubu Kamye Mushu Setsuno Komyo Shisho Enshi Shokoku Yoze Shojin Ijin Nanryo Ryonga Samutsu Koku no Nai Oshu Kimyo Dojo Chosetsu Koku nyo Naion Nimu Toso 大都爱面罗那兹一塞皆波来修现那兹修就一多が国けなく安穏公務信用税が新書発願の非力少々よ解剖生存死へ無下上領子孫死が信用下領心死食毒中作業精進年中不敬阿言上世願意志無常の志願無満足性不上昇学がお無量国部位内世宗無際小便具性不上昇学が至上仏の妙所長解法空行未消門生不上昇学利欲人少年上へ修言よ四愚無常の一生天然し人力現代公部所無才道少女三愚妙高祭集約難開知恵言名詞根の安永即小悪の通達全宗門合相上満足いよろ十本1月週十期天後音部言一周解放増公正空読法上大集中説法四四空空有一切部具即修徳本願で出場満得意三害用如仏無下地通達未不詳感覚へ利とし最小尊志願役か内政の感動国小天人道珍欲ナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブアニシクノム妙な聖祭道本も内心おうじょあ何万ダブス何万ダブス何万ダブス何万ダブス何万ダブスNow I'd like to share with you the Gatha Shinshu Shuka. Thank you very much. Typically, we would read the Threefold Refuge, but today I want to share with you the English translation for those who are listening today of the Gatha that we just heard, Shinshu Shuka. So if you please join me in Gasho. I express deep reverence to the Dharma. To what shall I liken my happiness? By listening earnestly, I opened the way and received true compassion. I have been saved from the eternal darkness. To what can I compare my happiness? Reciting the Nembutsu, I will exert myself diligently in my daily work. Without discrimination, I shall share with everyone Amida's precious gift and travel together to the Pure Land. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. This is the English of the Shinshu Shuka. Once again, good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us today for our Shotsuki here in Salinas. And also, as I mentioned, we're observing the Nirvana Day service, the day that Shakyamuni Buddha passed away. And he died at the age of 90 years old, which is quite unusual, especially during that time that the Buddha lived, when the lifespan of those living was not that long. So to live to be 90 was quite a feat. I want to talk a little bit about this term nirvana. And nirvana means to blow out or to extinguish. It's like if you were to blow out a candle, or in this case, maybe we can talk about extinguishing the idea of self or the ego. But it's not the same in the sense of a death, but a cessation, an ending of all the mental activities that create suffering. So those mental actions or activities might be our thoughts or words that say, I don't like you because you don't agree with me. I don't like you because you are different from me. Or I'm not getting what I want out of life when I deserve more. Or I love you, but you don't love me back. These mental activities of I need, I want, I deserve, this is the activities in our minds that create suffering. So the Buddha's death was not the end of his influence. And he said at the end of his life, it is not the ending of his life, but the Dharma is, it's not the true essence of who I am, but the Dharma is the true essence of the Buddha. So in the very same way, the death of your family members, your loved ones, was not the end of their influence on your lives. And you'll hear me say this many times at memorials and at funerals, their continuing influence. I heard someone share with me about his relationship with his mother, and his mother had always told her children, do one good deed each day for someone else, even if it's something so very simple. And this son carried this lesson from his mother with him throughout his entire life. He had a successful business, and with that success, he donates many things to schools, to organizations, etc. And he has on his desk a picture of his mother to remind him each day to do something good for someone. And it reminds him of her wish for her children. This is an example of the continuing influence that someone who is gone has on our lives. Now, the word Buddha means one who has awakened or woken up, awakened to the truth of life. So what is this truth? Truth is the continuing influence of the Buddha. The truth is the continuing influence of your family members. If we open our eyes to this truth, two things can happen. We feel a deep sense of gratitude to the Buddha. We feel a deep sense of gratitude to our parents, to our loved ones. And second of all, we feel a deep connection with them, with the Buddha as well as family. The trouble is, we don't open our eyes to this truth. We don't see this truth in our lives. I share with our Dharma school once the story of that was shared with me. I believe it might have been Uno Sensei, but two frogs that are, one lives in Kyoto and one lives in Osaka. And between the towns, there's this large hill. And one day the frog in Kyoto says, I'm going to go to Osaka and see what Osaka is like. And the other says, I'm going to go to Kyoto and see what Kyoto looks like. So they travel up the hill, they get to the top and they meet each other. And they talk and they greet each other and say, I'm on my way to Osaka. I'm on my way to Kyoto to see what it looks like. So the frogs both agree that if they really look, strain their necks and look high, they'll be able to see each other's towns and be able to see what it's like. So both frogs stretch their necks up and they look. And the frog from Kyoto says, gee, Osaka looks just like Kyoto. And the frog from Osaka says, yeah, Kyoto looks just like Osaka. They look the same. And so they both decide to go back home. Well, as you know, frogs' eyes are on the top of their heads. So when they stretch their necks and they look, they're looking backward. So the frog in Kyoto is looking at Kyoto, and the frog from Osaka is looking at Osaka. And neither is seeing the truth. They miss seeing each other's towns. Now, this is maybe a silly story, but we miss seeing the truth of our lives because we don't open our eyes to the truth. The Dharma, the teachings of the Buddha, is there to help us open our eyes, open our ears, open our hearts to the voice of the Buddha, to the voice of our family members, and live a life of gratitude. One more event or story told to me by one of my good friends and teachers is when he's from Japan, and he always, his wife was very traditional. They're a very traditional couple. She took very good care of him, did all these different things for him. And he said he never really appreciated it. And then he broke his arms, both of them. And because he couldn't use either arm, his wife had to help him do everything. I mean, everything. Get dressed, get undressed, go to the bathroom, eat. All of this is being done for him. And he came to this realization that his wife is doing so much for him. And this is not just because he broke his arm, but all throughout their relationship. He came to the realization that how much she did for him. And he said, this is truly a life of gratitude, seeing this truth. And it shouldn't take an event like breaking our arms or breaking our legs or something to realize this. All we have to do is open our eyes to this truth. And so Nirvana Day, commemorates the day the Buddha died, but it commemorates his opening his eyes to the truth of life. And as he said, this is not an end, but this is where the Dharma comes in. And the Dharma is the essence of the Buddha. So we have this great opportunity, all of us, in this lifetime, to hear this wonderful teaching that we call the Dharma. And if we don't take advantage of it, if we don't take the time to listen carefully to the Dharma, then our eyes are closed, our ears are closed, our sense of feeling gratitude or feeling the connection gets closed. And that's not the type of life that we're intended to live. So on this day of Nirvana Day and of Shotsuki, I hope you will feel this gratitude and this deep connection to the Buddha and to your family members. Now I'd like to share with you the Denyo Shonin's Gobun Sho. Shonin Nichiryu no go kange no muki wa shinji no motte honto serare soro sono yue wo moro moro no zogi o nage shitete isshin ni mida ni kimi o sureba fuga shigi no ganriki to shite Bun no kata yori ojo wa jijo sashimeta mo. Sono kurai yo jinen poki nyu shoujo shiju tomo shaku shi. Sono ue no shomyo nen buddha. Yarai waga ojo sadame tamai shi. Onho jinno nen buddha. Okoro ekinari anakashiko anakashiko. Shinran Shonin taught that the essence of Jodo Shinshu is Shinju. The reason is that by abandoning all other practices and completely entrusting ourselves in Amida Buddha, our spiritual rebirth is assured by Amida through the inconceivable power of the primal vow. This is known as entering the ranks of the truly assured at the very moment of Shinju. Thereafter, all utterances of the Nembutsu should be understood only as expressions of gratitude for Amida's assurance of our spiritual rebirth. With reverence, I remain. Namman Dabus, Namman Dabus, Namman Dabus, Namman Dabus. Thank you very much. Just one quick announcement. Next Sunday, February 27th at 10 o'clock, you will be able to view our regular Sunday service. It'll be a tri-temple, not a Shotsuki or anything, but just a regular Sunday service, 10 o'clock next Sunday, February 27th. Now I'd like to share with you the Gatha Ondok-san 2. Please join me in Gasho. During the right, semblance, and last ages, Amida's primal vow has spread. At the end of the semblance and in this last Dharma age, good practices have all gone into the Naga's palace. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you very much, everyone. And this will conclude our Sunday service for the Salinas Buddhist Temple. I want to thank you again for tuning in. Please stay healthy, stay well and safe. And I look forward to seeing you next week. Thank you very much. Nam 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 Nam.